good news. My book has just been translated into French.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
Cool.
congratulations.
yeah, I'll be getting a copy of it today or tomorrow. So, yeah,
That's
it's
wonderful.
That's nice.
it's weird though to have a book that you wrote and you open it and you can't read it.
Yeah. Right, you'll have to use AI and see what it's
Yeah, I mean, I trust the people who've translated it. They're impro students, and one of them's a professional translator, so I know that the energy, the ethics is correct. But it's just weird to go.
hmm
I wrote this and I had no idea what it
Or
is.
or you can go, I wrote this.
That's, yeah.
Somebody can read it. I can't, but
Yeah,
Door, yeah,
Just
the
read it
doorstop.
out as if you know what it means.
yeah. I'll
But you
use
do know
my.
what it
Well, I do know what it means, but I don't know the words that are expressing what I once wrote, which is what I know what I mean.
means.
It would be wonderful if you handed it to someone who spoke French to translate a little bit of it for you, and they read something, from To Kill a Mockingbird or something, just as a
Yeah, it was a
just as a
completely
little
different, yeah,
that's
completely different script, right? Like a horror film or something.
Oh yeah, yeah. These are my words, and you hear things going, "I never wrote that." But there was some interesting moments where references I made, of course, don't
Right.
transition. So in the book, I make reference to, the cue the Jeopardy theme,
Oh,
and the translators came back and went, uh, "Not gonna read in French," and it's like, "Oh, okay." So then finding a game show in France that had that same history, said, "How about this one?" They went, "Oh, maybe." Uh, and there was another one about references to movies that uh, in it was a quote from a movie that it was representing one thought, but in translation it went a slightly different interpretation, which made the whole concept unclear, which was
mm,
fascinating. It was like, hang on,
Mhm.
these are this. If this is the concept and these are the words, the
yeah,
translation should still hold, but it didn't.
yeah. We had the same trouble when a book of ours was translated into Spanish because we had, jargon for frameworks like these are implementation drivers. They went, no, no, we can't have, no, that doesn't work.
Yeah, not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into stage directions. Let's have Karen and Brad on camera. And Judy, let's have you do stage directions for Karen. And Bridget, let's have you do stage directions for Brad. Okay. A reminder with this, because now we've got four people at play, and there's kind of four crossing lines. Speak, give time for the stage direction before the next line of dialogue and the next stage direction. So there's like a little, I talk, and before I can answer, I need to hear another improviser do something, and then I answer. Because if we just get into dialogue, we miss our partners. Yeah. Try to keep the dialogue shortish so that we allow room for the stage directions. Stage directions, try to stay kind of what comes next instead of commenting on what has happened. So those were
Sounds
some
good.
reminders from last week, and I'll get my mug off camera. Lovely. Um, and let's have a scene where, uh, ooh, I'm going through a list of things. I went camping, uh, grooming a horse. Clearly, it's because of the show I watched last night. Um, let's have, oh gosh, I don't know. Um, embroidery. Brad, you're an embroiderer.
my whole life has been spent with this, and it's just wasting away.
he puts his needles down.
And just a reminder, if we could say he says or she says, great.
Okay.
Oh, what if they're not saying? Oh, well, anyway, we'll work it
He
out.
says as he put his needles down. Does that work?
Perfect.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, I don't want you to give up.
She said with a concerned look on her face.
It's easy for you to say. You love this.
He says as his eyes sparkle towards her.
I do love this. You've taught me well.
As she adjusts herself in her chair,
But you have been a very, 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 very good pupil.
He says as he reaches into his pocket.
Well, you have been a real taskmaster, I must say.
she says with the slightest little brow wrinkling,
Well, I knew you could handle it.
He says as he hands her a set of keys.
What? What the hell? The keys to the shop?
she says, shaking them and looking at them right in front of her face.
It's all yours.
He says as he puts his derby on his head.
Frankie, don't you get out of that chair.
She says as she puts the keys down in her bosom.
I'll get those later.
He says as he reaches for his luggage.
Great. And we'll end the scene there. Absolutely. I'll get those later.
That was great.
Lovely.
I still find it challenging. I mean, giving an action forward,
I
because they've
still
already
find
said
bosom
it.
funny.
Well, it's my one redeeming factor in that scene.
It is a challenge to give an action forward. Absolutely. Without dictating the whole scene, right? Because
Yeah.
it's a little breadcrumb to move this to help advance the story. But I think one of the challenges around that is just how much we've either been trained or we've interpreted the training, or where we're sitting, where in scenes we're actually commenting on what has happened or what we're doing, instead of actually going, how do we use this to move the scene forward? Right?
I will tell
Go ahead.
I'll tell you briefly. I actually had a very lucid dream about this class and this thing where you threw another curve at us so that like Brad makes the first statement about the embroidery, and then the word is spoken to me. Judy tells me to react with the behavior, and then I followed her behavior, and I just woke up so confused. So I was really glad you went through all that.
Yeah.
That's
Did you ever have one of those dreams that's just like so real? Like, what's
I
Yeah.
think you're just remembering what I did last week,
yeah.
probably.
Okay, sorry, I got us off track.
um, but it does kind of focus our brain on, where we're trying to analyze the now instead of allowing ourselves to playfully interpret now to move forward. And some exercises that I've seen, which I do think have relevance in point and purpose, but there's the exercise of, I see you, I see you. You look pensive. You look curious. I am pensive. I am curious. That exercise, it's all about commenting on the now. Now, it is about observing the now, so I do think there is relevance in that. We need to awaken those skills so we are really taking in everything on the radar, but taking it in with the joy of allowing the circles to pop like little bubbles, and the potential of what we can do with it. So, what's the potential with the offers? What's the potential?
Mm.
If I say, what a day, it's not just the line, there's a way that I've said it. What a day. That could have a character thing. What a day, she said, fixing her ascot. What a day, she said, twirling her cane. What a day, she said, wiggling a coin between her fingers. Right?
Yeah.
And then the player's like, oh, I'm playing this character. I may never have thought of doing this because I'm in intellectual zone trying to analyze the story and do things right. And suddenly I'm playing a character with a cane and a coin and an ascot. Right? So it's bringing that kind of color and detail. And this does move things forward because it's moved forward the character and it's added something into the circle. Right? I can also, what a day, she said, throwing open the curtains and opening the window. I've advanced the action. So I can, add detail, I can add action. Also, if I do an emotion, what a day, which is clear, I'm doing this. If you say, she said, smiling, it's commenting on. If you say, she said, trying to convince everyone around her the smile is authentic, that's the add-on. What a day! But also the fact that I'm trying to convince you it's authentic puts a curiosity at play in the scene. Does that make sense? Just a few examples.
Yes, it does make sense. I think I'm seeing a fine line, though, between what, like she said, opening the curtains. Oh, sorry, got distracted there for a minute. And not writing a scene.
Writing the scene would be, she said, opening the curtains, looking out and seeing her lover outside with a rose and a ring.
Okay.
So I've given you the action, the why, what's happening. I've left no room for you to create.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's breadcrumbs instead of chapters. And the same is true in the dialogue, right? Because I'm trying to create offers that would be fun for my partner to do stage directions. So if I say, you're full of bullshit, that could be fun to give a stage direction on. She said, starting to turn away. She said, throwing her arms in the air. She said, handing him a shovel. And we don't need to know the why. So we don't need to know, why did I give the shovel? This is the other trap. Oh, I don't want to do that because I don't know what comes next. That's okay. You've got 3 other people that can help you with the what comes next. So be playful in the impulse, and we'll all figure that out, right? And if someone blocks, if uh, she says handing him a shovel, and he goes, "I don't want that." He said, reaching out confused. So I'm saying I don't want it, but my hand is still taking it. So the people doing the stage directions can also help catch our players if they're blocking or wimping, because humans say one thing and do another.
Mm.
Or if someone's playing one emotion, if they're always angry, you can go, he said, suddenly bursting into laughter. Great, I've given you now something to be changed by. Let's see where that goes. Yeah. So play it to explore. You know the pattern, but don't get into the headset playing it to do it right. Play it to explore. Yeah. If you forget something, if it goes off the rails, that's my job. And we might invent something totally new, which would be quite fun. Sound good? Great. Let's have Regina and Bridget on camera. Karen and Judy doing the stage directions. So Karen, let's have you do the stage directions for Regina. Judy, do the stage directions for Bridget.
Okay.
Wait, Judy's doing mine. I'm sorry,
Yes.
Judy is okay. Thank you. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. And let's have you at the Eiffel Tower, just, within the theme of the day.
Wow, you've really outdone yourself.
She said, glancing out of the corner of her eye.
I've been working very hard to get here with you.
She said, taking the anti-nausea medicine out of her purse.
You're being really brave too.
She said, taking the flask out of her purse.
What? You're drinking so early?
She said, backing away from the railing.
Of course I am. I mean, that's what this is all about, isn't it?
I put aside all my phobias. Oh, sorry.
She said, tossing a dash over her shoulder.
Oh, Phyllis, you could have hit someone down there.
She said, taking a Kleenex to dab the sweat off her brow.
So what? They would have been drowned in good old whiskey.
She said, spitting off the balcony.
Oh my God. Phyllis, stop it. Stop. I'm already nauseous. You're making me crazy.
She said, opening her purse and just letting it go.
Wow. You actually did hit someone. Good throw.
She said, looking around at the other tourists.
Is that what you needed from me? You needed me to lose myself up here on the Eiffel Tower?
She said, taking off her sweater.
Wow, Brenda, that's Yeah, that's actually what I needed from you. Just let go of it all.
We'll stop there. Great. Great. Let's everybody pop on. Hey, Valeria.
And you know what?
Yay!
Oh, then, yay!
Yay!
You know, it's funny because when I said I didn't articulate it properly, I was like opening her purse and letting it all go, throwing it up. But she emptied them off because that was her interpretation, and that took it somewhere completely different, right? It's
Absolutely.
great.
So, having fun with the offers and not worrying so much about the control,
Yeah.
allowing the interpretation is fun because then it's like, what will our partners do? Yeah. So you're still giving them something, she said opening her purse and letting it go. But then the interpretation of what that means, great, you've inspired a response.
Right. Right.
Just like if you say, she said throwing her arms in the air, we could do this, we could also go. Like, if I want to be cheeky with you, and I'm going, okay, this scene calls for that, then I can be, cheeky. She said giggling. I can, or I can go, like, because we're trying to inspire each other back and forth, as well as do the breadcrumbs, as well as move the scene forward. And because there's four of us, even though we go, oh, four people, that's more complicated, we should actually be more relaxed because with four people, you're sharing the responsibility four ways.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have that same burden of,
Right.
the ball,
Definitely.
it's a medicine ball. It's like, no, hey, there's a lot happening before it comes to me. Just be in a state of play. When it
Right.
comes to me, just respond, whoever you are. But that's letting go of the attachment, letting go of the control, letting go of the future. Yeah? Cool. Larry, did you get a sense of what the madness that we're up to?
Yes.
So we're playing stage directions. So I'll have Karen and Valeria on camera. Brad, you're going to do the stage directions for Karen. And Regina, you'll do the stage directions for Valeria. So a few things, Valeria, just to, be mindful of. It's really easy in a scene, someone talks, we immediately respond. We just need to do the pause for the stage direction. So Karen will talk, Brad will give a stage direction, then you do your line of dialogue. Then Regina will give you your stage direction, then Karen will talk. Yeah. Keeping dialogue short is useful because it allows the flow. Same with keeping the stage direction short. Yeah, great. Let's have a play. So Valeria, no, Regina, there we go. And let's have the two of you decorating for Halloween.
Oh, that's the biggest skeleton we've ever had.
She said, touching her head and going with.
I had to get this skeleton. I just had to. It's so huge.
She said, picking the skeleton up and waving it in the air.
Oh, those limbs. Just it's so anatomically correct.
She said as she
Because of
held her arms. She said as she held her arms up above her head.
I'm going to pose the skeleton just like you.
She said, grabbing both its arms and actually taking them out of their sockets.
Oh my gosh, you are like a osteo sculptor. You're a bone artist.
She said, laughing in a cackly way.
Yeah, that feels good.
She said, looking around to see what other bones she could pick.
I can hardly wait till we scare the shit out of those little kids next door.
She said as she started looking through her purse.
Is that's an old lollipop from last year?
She said, and looked like she was going to be sick.
Look, but it's genuine merino wool lint.
She said as she licked the lollipop.
I will stop there. Lovely. Let's have Judy and Brad on camera. Bridget, you're going to do stage directions for Judy. Valeria, you're going to do stage directions for Brad. Okay?
Yes.
And Brad, you are a very famous hairstylist. Judy, you're coming in for a new do.
Welcome. Have a seat.
Thank you. You know, I drive most hairstylists crazy. Oh,
Sorry, can we go back? No, that's okay.
Yeah.
Brad, can you say that line again? And Valeria,
Yes, yes, I'm sorry.
that's okay. It's your first time doing it, so great.
Welcome. Have a seat.
He said, grimacing.
you know, I have to be somewhere in 25 minutes.
She says, tapping her watch.
Well, we can't get anything done with you in 25 minutes.
He said with an air of disdain.
You know, my friend highly recommended you.
She says as she nuzzles the baby to her nipple.
Could you please do that somewhere else?
He raised his eyebrows with distress.
Sir, you should feel privileged that you get to witness this natural act of nourishing a being.
She says as she kisses the baby.
Oh,
Well, we don't generally have children here, and we're not set up for that.
Waving his scissors wildly in the air.
settle down. Have you never seen a nipple before? I mean,
As she
seriously.
hands him the baby.
Here.
I don't know how to hold a baby.
As he holds the baby at arm's length around its neck.
Ramon, that is the baby's neck. Would you please shake it a little bit for me?
As she gets her camera out, she says,
I don't want to do this.
As he shook the baby vigorously.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Now turn it right side up. Yeah.
as she laughs hysterically.
Oh, you just take yourself way too seriously. I don't know if you're going to be able to cut my hair or not.
I don't think I can.
Oh, we need a she said.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Oh,
I don't know
as-
if you're going to be able to cut my hair or not. You take yourself so seriously.
as she takes the baby back, she says, as she takes the baby back.
I don't think I can ever cut hair again.
Turning away, weeping.
Good. And we'll end the scene there. Nice.
Never,
We actually had to
never
shake
shook
a
a baby in an improv
Yeah.
scene before.
Yes.
Vigorously
Wow,
too.
That was good.
Yeah.
And remember, it's improv, so you can shake a
I
baby and
know.
it doesn't have to be disaster.
It might not be a real baby. Who knows?
Yep. Yeah. Or that
I just
could
said
be.
I've never done that before.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of things, but I've never shook a baby before. in improv.
I feel so privileged to have given you your first time shaking a baby.
Next time it happens, I'm just going, I've done that before. I'm not doing that anymore.
Right.
I'm an all
I shook
hand
a
at
baby
this.
I shook a baby by its neck, turned it over and shook it again.
Oh, God.
This is old
Be
hat
careful
for
where you
me.
say that.
That's right.
The only reason I'm mentioning, because I did hear that you said you've never done it before. The only reason I'm mentioning, and we don't have to worry about the outcome, is a reminder. Because sometimes when things like that come up, there's this little hesitation of, oh, do we play with that? It's like, yes, you can play with it. You can just alter it. As you're shaking, gold coins come out of the diaper. Like, we're in the land of pretend and possibility, and we can look after each other. So if that's the obvious, if that's that player's obvious, great. What else can we do with it? Right? We are only limited by our own limitations. Yeah. And sometimes that limitation is the assumption or the cataloging of things where we go, a gun means death. Well, we know that there's water pistols. We know that there's guns that are lighters. We know that you can do antics with guns. We also know that you can shoot a gun and a bullet can go in the person and not hit a vital organ. Or you could do a matrix routine. Or, you could shoot the gun and bang comes out, or happy birthday. So we tend to get ourselves locked up into things, especially when it comes around in the circle is something that can be dangerous. Which, totally get that. In the circle, there's also other things. Right? And in stage directions, we can look after each other. Right? So if it's like, she said handing the baby, the other improviser could go, you were nestling or nurturing or feeding a doll. Yes, it's canceling that it's a real baby, but if you've got your hands around the neck and we're concerned, then that's where a block is useful to look after your partner. We're still moving the scene forward. I'm still doing the thing. But now we've got someone who's coming in to get their hair done and they carry around dolls that they feed on their breast, which is kind of interesting.
Yes.
And probably more interesting than, an actual shaking of an actual baby.
And that's
So
interesting because I was actually thinking, is there a way to go there before it was
totally.
over to turn that, baby into a doll or something?
Yeah. And this is why when we look at blocking, and blocking does kill an idea, that can be useful. Because what we want is our players to be completely free in their spontaneous response. And sometimes a spontaneous response can open a circle that has little, red danger signs in it. And then we can go, you're following your response. This has come up in the circles. We look after each other. So I don't have to block and censor myself. I can be free in my playing, be authentic in my playing, and know that everybody's looking after me as I am looking after them. Right? And when I say censor myself, that's not removing duty of care to understand what show you're in, what audience you're in front of, who you're working with, because we always have parameters we can work within. But sometimes even working in those parameters, you can say something that can be misinterpreted or has other interpretations. Yeah, Brad.
I had a little bit of a flashback there because I did in this show. It was a fundraiser for a family whose kid was killed, and I can't believe. I mean, I was with some other improvisers, and they were talking about this person who murdered children. It's like, and I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And it's like I was panicked. I mean, I think a lot of us were like,
Yeah.
"Read the room here, dude." It's like,
I think what happens is
maybe.
that the elephant in the room that you once it's like, as I said, every time I say my boundaries, like animal cruelty or aging me, it just the poor. I mean, I understand it because that's all you can think about sometimes.
Yeah.
It's the thing that you're not supposed to say.
Which is why for me some of the check-in circles are actually counterintuitive to being useful. Because right before you go on stage, basically what you've done is created a list of things, circles, ideas. You've stimulated the creative brain
Right.
in all the things you don't want to do.
You've primed them almost like
Yeah.
I've been primed in a positive way, and it's really cool. But this is a very negative priming of it. But I believe in check-ins now because it keeps happening sometimes. But then I just see it, especially with newer improvisers, it just goes downhill very quickly.
Yeah. And it's hard when you're in a show, like you said, Brad, and suddenly everybody's doing the subject. It's like, how can everybody be like just not aware?
Yeah.
It
was horrible. It was horrible.
Yeah. I think some of that comes to the training where people are in such survival mode that they don't have that wider awareness, because the only thing they're doing in the moment is just trying to survive the moment. So they're just here. They're not relaxed to see the circles. They haven't even remembered the point of the show. They're just, I'm on stage, I'm improvising, I'm with another person, I get on that wheel, and I can't do this because I'm surviving this so much, which is problematic. Yeah, Rajni, Karen?
The game word of the time where we're encouraged to say the first thing and not worry about like censoring, and the whole point is not to self-censor. I find that, like, how do you avoid then? Because the connections are so strong that if someone has suggested something, that's coming into your brain and you're supposed to push it down and not be judged, but you're even judging yourself. I mean, I've been in situations where I've gone, like, I didn't think I would do this, but I've actually said and done scenes in the middle of an audition, for example, for a black group or a people of color group, and I did the whole scene about tanning on the beach. It was afterwards. Afterwards, I cringed. I didn't get it, but I cringed for the rest of years. I still cringe when I think about it. But there was nothing. I mean, I would never have done that scene. Even normally, it wouldn't have been of any interest to me. For some reason, that's everything just comes to the top
Yeah.
of.
And then you're in an audition situation, which is going to amplify the fear, which is going to amplify. We either go this or we do this. Anytime we amplify fear, survival, stress, we get more and more into those situations that feel like we couldn't look sideways. The more we let go, we open, we release, we relax, the more potential we have, the more awareness we have, the more creativity and artistry we have.
But do you keep a part of when they say don't censor yourself, do you actually you are censoring, you're just doing it in a more joyful way or less judgmental way?
When you're using word at a time for beginners, you are just trying to get a response to the word that you've heard. It's really about be in the moment. You don't have control of the story. Just add the word when it's your turn to talk. Right? Like that's the basis of the game. When you start playing the game intermediate and onwards, by the time you're an intermediate player, you should have had trainers working with you to keep the circles open, to reduce stress, to not worry so much about failure. All of these things support your ability to be open and your ability to put into your if I'm going on stage and I'm doing a school show, my circle immediately goes school. There's appropriate and not appropriate. That's the circle. And then as an artist, I go, I'm focusing on this. So yes, it's a form of censorship, but I look at it more, it's preparing myself to step into the creative agreement. And the creative agreement for doing a school show is that there's certain topics that are just not on deck. So if in the middle of a scene that bubbles up in a circle, I've still got all the other things in the circle. So I don't look at it as censoring, I look at it as creative choice.
So filling it with alternatives that are
Yeah, because there's so many things in the circle.
okay.
So if someone says, I hate you, there's a lot in that circle. And some of it can be really heavy, big topics on the interpretation of hate, right? But there's other things. I can meet hate with love. I can meet hate with, oh, you always say that before we have vegetables. I can, right? So I don't look at it as censorship. I look at it as choice because I'm aware of the circles. I'm not playing in a linear path of stress. I am playing in a wide zone of possibility. So then I'm just choosing the things that are relevant for the scene, my partner, the audience, the environment, and the show. But that just means I have fun playing in different aspects of the circle. If I'm doing a show where it's about terrifying the audience and someone said, I hate you, I'm going to lean into other subjects because people have bought a ticket to come to a show that allows for that content. But people aren't taught the circles. They're not taught the observation. They're not taught the curiosity. They're not taught to, even in directing, you know, if you were directing a show like this, Keith would say, lean back, you see more from back here. And it's not that big a thing, but it really does change because this is tension. This is me going, I will succeed. This is what's happening. So
You know,
physiologically, I'm changing my mindset.
I just wanted to share one quick thing when you said going back. I heard Michael Keegan, is it Michael Keegan Key? Is that his name? Talking about improv one time, and it just blew my mind because he said to him, it's not like he said you're in real close, and then as the scene progresses, you step back and you keep seeing more and more and more. It's exactly like those circles that keep getting bigger and bigger, you know. But I always thought that was so good because usually for some reason in my head I was looking for things. He said, no, just let your vision like expand and then it's all, you know. I thought that was so, and that's exactly what the circles are a little bit, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because has every offer stimulates your imagination. All the things in your imagination are in that circle of possibilities on that word. Yeah? Dog, glass bowl, dragonfly. The minute I say these, something is coming in your head. It might be a vision or an image, it might be colors, it might be movement, it might be sound, it might be specific words in relation to, they might be descriptive words, might be environments, but something is happening. That's the circle. But if you say dragonfly and I'm in a state of panic going, what do I do with that? I've got to make that something. Then I'm going to be looking for the answer instead of discovering the possibility. And this is when people get into the situation like the show that you're talking about, Brad. They're not leaning back and being aware of the room. They're not even aware of the marketing material for the show. They forgot the aim because they're in survival mode of that scene. And if someone says death, they're on it because they've been taught to yes and. And it's like, well, no, hang on. This is exactly where a no would be useful. This is where blocking would help everybody in the room.
I think somebody came on and swept the scene or something like that. You know, it's just, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, you know, we look after each other. But if we're in survival mode, we forget to look after each other. If we forget to look after each other, then we're not inspiring each other. If we're not looking after each other and inspiring each other, then that builds more panic and stress because we feel alone. Then everything we do feels more precious because nobody has actually got our back. So then we start really worrying about the choices we're making because we don't want to make the wrong ones, because if we happen to do something and it's not useful, no one's there to help us. So what we say and do becomes even more precious and we start getting more attachment to, and it just creates this circle that's simply not useful. Yeah?
I think you should be a peace negotiator.
Yeah, well, that'd be interesting. I wonder if I'd have the patience. But
I have to see what's in the circle of possibilities.
I often thought if we could put Keith into the UN, by the time people left that room, they would be thinking differently. I don't know if it would last, but they would be leaving the room thinking differently. So with Word at a Time, when you start playing on an intermediate and senior level or more experienced, because you're not surviving trusting your creativity, because you've learned if someone says a word, you will usually have a word, then you start playing in the circles of possibilities and creating a story. So that means the power of choice comes into play. So if you say, like if we're playing a word at a time and you say we, I've got so many options. I could say we, we are, I could say running, or I could also say soldering. We are, now this word is clearly an action word. Circle of possibilities of action words. Huge. But what tends to happen is when you get improvisers who don't play in the circles, they will say we are walking, running, sitting, grabbing, thinking. Everything will be the words in the center of the circle. Because they're not thinking what will what would be fun for my partner? We are galloping. We are, I don't know, bubbling. We are sauntering. We are sashaying. We are flickering. We are, like, there's so many things. But if I say something like sashaying, sauntering, flickering, there's a little, oh, what's that going to be? If I say we are running, kind of know what we're doing, which is another reason why people play here. Is they don't want to play in surprise and delight in the unknown. They want to play in the predictable for success. Right? So when I'm playing word at a time, I'm not censoring. I'm recognizing choice in the circle and thinking, how do I inspire my partner and how do I move the story forward? And I'm not even thinking, I'm sensing. I'm exploring. Yeah, great. Should we get back into some more stage directions? Yeah.
Sorry for the diversion.
No. This round, I'd like you all to be a little bit more playful with the offers. So everybody ease off the gas of, I need to do it right. Yeah? Don't worry. Remember, we can start scenes at any point. People doing lines of dialogue. What would be fun for your partner in the scene? What would be fun for the person doing the stage directions? Yeah, and if possible, try to do less physically yourself, if possible. Don't worry, it's not a criticism, it's just a reminder.
I know. It's just my Italian heritage. I got to get it under control.
That's all right. That's all right. But remember the beautiful possibilities of emotional noises, big reactions and changes, right? The whoa! What's someone going to do with that? Right? People doing the stage directions, playful. Yeah, we're moving the story forward. I don't have to have the answer. I'm trying to kick off a domino effect. Yeah, she said, reaching her arm out. I don't need to know why. I've got 3 other people that will do that. She said, spinning around in her chair. She said, tapping her temples. Like, yeah. And you've been doing it. There's been things coming out that have been exploring it. Just allow yourself to be more playful. Allow yourself to potentially make a mistake. Okay? Great. I'm trying to move people around so you're playing in different combinations. In an even number, that's hard because we naturally fall into certain rhythms. But just know I'm trying my best. And if you've got suggestions, put them in chat. Okay? Great. So next up on deck, let's have Reggie and Karen on camera. Judy, let's have you do stage directions for Reggie and Brad for Karen.
Okay.
And let's have you at a, you're doing curling. And if you know,
as in Canadian curling or as in a salon?
Canadian curling. And the only reason I'm saying that is because we've just had a salon. Otherwise, I'd say whatever. And if you know nothing about curling, awesome, because there's 4 people in the scene. You don't need to know anything, and it could be your version of curling.
This armchair curling is the greatest thing invented.
She said, smelling her armpits.
Yeah. God, I work up a sweat just picking up this rock. Oh, look at this baby.
She said, sorry. She said, lifting it high over her head.
Ah!
Looks like you've been working out.
She said as she flexed her own bicep.
You gotta know it, baby.
She said, punching towards her friend.
Gosh. Wow. Wow. Did I do something?
She said wiping the blood off of her nose.
Oh, oh man, I'm so sorry. I've got this. Here's this maple leaf rag for you. I'm so sorry.
She said with a smile.
A make a leaf?
Maple leaf.
Oh, remember this? She said. That's okay. So, Reggie, can you repeat?
A make a leaf?
She said tasting it a little bit.
I do not understand why you would be chewing on a bloody towel.
She said, furrowing her brow.
I love cloth. I love eating cloth. It comforts me.
She said as her eyes widened and her chewing was more intense.
Man, you're going to be so disappointed in the refreshment stand here.
We'll stop there. Nice, good. Remember, as we're shaking loose the play and the exploring, things are gonna become a bit creatively weird because we're shaking things open.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah? Cool. Bridget and Valeria on camera. Reggie doing stage directions for Bridget and Karen doing stage directions for Valeria. And let's have you, where are you? Let's have you, I don't know why, on the Rio Grande,
River?
whatever that means.
I think it's my time for the horse.
She said, smacking her butt.
You're right, little lady. It's your turn to ride on this horse. Let me get down.
She stumbles, as she says, as she stumbles off the horse.
I'm so tired. I've been running the last 10 miles. I hope you know that I'm going to be on this horse for a while.
She says, glugging down her last bottle of water.
You know, horses drink a lot of water.
She said as she spit into her hand.
Felix, I don't know if we're ever going to get to the other side of the river.
She said, looking with a worried look at the sun.
Essie, don't you mind them vultures none. I'll look after you.
She said as she looks up and wipes vulture poop from her eye.
Oh, great. Oh, great. I think there's only one thing left to do.
She said as she pulls out a pistol from her holster.
Bessie, you do what you need to do, girl.
She said as she pulled her gun out of her holster.
I can't believe it's come to this. I'll shoot him.
She looks up to shoot at the vultures and then points the gun at Felix.
Wish I was in the land of cotton. Old time there is not forgotten. Look away, look away, look.
And scene. Lovely. Let's have Brad and Judy on camera. Bridget doing stage directions for Brad, and Valeria doing stage directions for Judy. And I know I had you doing the hairdressing scene. It's just the even number go round.
Okay.
For this one, let's have you being your adventurers in the jungle.
Here it is again.
She said with her eyes wide open.
What? What? I don't see it.
As he straightens his, she says as he straightens his crown.
It's gone now. You got to pay attention. Stage directions for me?
Sorry. Oh,
That's okay.
Okay. She said putting her fingers in her ears.
I can't pay attention right now because of all the mosquitoes.
He says, slapping himself silly.
I just can't listen to you laugh like that. It's like it's almost silent. You laugh so silly.
She sticks her tongue out and wags it at him.
Talking about it's just I'm trying. I can't stand all the mosquitoes. I'm itching. You
He
don't seem to
says as
care about.
suddenly he says as suddenly hears a loud tick-tocking.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock.
You hear it now, don't you?
She said with a whimsical tone.
Can you give her something? Because she's already spoken.
As she wipes, pushes her hair from her forehead.
I do. I see it. I hear it.
He says as he reaches into the water.
Tick tock.
Oh, wait,
tick,
wait,
tock,
don't.
Tick tock.
Oh my God. Now you're going to experience the wrath of that water. Don't give it to me.
She said, backing up in fear.
Mhm.
Take it. Take it from my hands.
Tick,
Take it.
He said,
tick, tock.
he says, shaking the alligator vigorously.
Take it.
Get it out of my face. One snip from that alligator, and I'm going to be 110 years old.
She said, making little whooping sounds.
Okay, we'll stop there. Great.
The fuck?
Nice. Yeah. We're getting the sense of the playful. Yeah, which is
Yes.
good. Let's try in the next round, the next few rounds, just to pick up the pace so that we don't have the thinking time.
Yeah.
So the person that you're doing stage directions for, even if you don't have anything in your brain, the minute they stop talking, go, she says or he says, then keep talking.
Okay.
Yeah, just so that we kind of jump off the cliff a little bit. And it's natural because in this exercise, it removes, it really interrupts and removes the ability to control because you've got 4 creative brains and your line of dialogue now has an action, another line of dialogue, and another action. It's really hard for one person to go, this is the scene that I'm going to make happen.
Mm.
Right? So in that little shifting of loss of control, and when you watch this video back, you'll notice that your playful, accepting selves have started to turn into characters that are more cautious, characters that are more negative, and characters that are blocking more. Because we've interrupted intellect and we've interrupted control. So now there's other ways of trying to kind of maintain a safety. Does that make sense? Yeah. So players, be positive and get yourself into trouble. Allow every word and action to have possibilities. So if Judy gets the stage direction of revealing her forehead, there's something on the forehead. It's not a non-action. There's a reason for it. Yeah, things will probably get a little bit more chaos, but that's okay. Yeah. So a little faster, a little bit more positive, allow everything to have possibility. If there is something to go in, go in. If there's something to touch, grab it. Just allow yourself to just jump off the cliff because you've got 3 other people that are going to help you figure out what the next step is. Yeah, wonderful. So Karen and Bridget on camera. Reggie, stage directions for Karen. Judy, stage directions for Bridget. And surf's up, baby.
Cowabunga!
She said, stuffing about 10 pieces of bubble gum in her mouth.
Hey, like, dude, hang 10 out there.
She said, picking up a surfboard and waving it around.
Well, I can't believe we're going to go out with those sharks today.
She said, pulling a baby shark out of her back pocket.
Holy cow! The mama shark is gonna be chasing us over those waves.
She said, putting the board down and grabbing a harpoon.
Oh, not with the harpoon. We're going to use this for chum.
She said, tearing. Sorry. She said, blowing a big bubble with the bubble gum.
Oh man, I really wanna. Oh, I'm gonna. Oh yeah,
Then shooting the harpoon into the bubble gum.
That's awesome, dude. Let's do it again.
You said chewing more, blowing an even bigger bubble this time.
Dude,
Okay, pause.
it's my nut.
Pause. So you're blowing the bubble, Bridget. Karen, you've got the gun. Can you say something so we can get the stage direction?
Oh
Yeah. So before you fire it, say, I'm getting ready because the stage direction is the action. So what you're doing is the action. So the stage direction person's got nothing to give you.
no, gonna do it.
She says, sending the harpoon, unfortunately, through the cheeks.
And we'll end the scene on that beautiful image. Great. So you feel the difference when we're kind of grabbing and going, take it, take it, take it, take
Faster,
it.
faster. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
part of it is speed, but part of it is just letting go of the thinking and needing to control it. It's like harpoon, let's let it go off. This, let's let it happen.
Certainly wasn't more positive, I'm sorry.
Uh,
Brought up a
uh,
harpoon.
Positive in the fact that we're not canceling ideas. Maybe a bit violent, but that's okay. Yeah. Bridget, when you said, forget about the harpoon, let's use the gum. Another option, you grab the harpoon, I've got the gum. So you can add that impulse that you have without canceling the impulse the other person has, unless there's a reason that we need to block the harpoon because we're looking after our partner.
And I thought you
Okay.
said I'm going to use it for chum. So I thought you were
That's
talking
what
about killing.
That's what you said.
I
and that
did
was
say chum.
Oh,
Mhm.
good. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But again,
And
you say chum if someone doesn't know what chum is, and it's bubble gum. That's what chum is. Yeah. Nice. So let's keep that rhythm, that energy, that acceptance, that jumping into the unknown. And we've got Reggie and Valeria on camera. Brad, you're doing the stage directions for Reggie. Karen, you're doing the stage directions for Valeria.
Get off camera here.
Great. And let's have, where am I going to put the two of you? Let's
Valeria.
have, oh, you're on mute, Valeria. You are snowshoeing in the North Pole.
I love the cold.
She said, jumping up and down.
I like anything where I can wear fur.
She said pulling her parka over her head.
I have the best way to keep warm.
She said, putting on red lipstick.
Your line, Valeria.
I thought the best way to stay warm was to pee out in the snow, but you look great.
Great. Can we rephrase that so it's not critical? Because you said, I thought the best way. So if she says, here's
Okay.
the best way, and you say, I thought another way was the best way, it's undermining.
Gotcha.
She said, this is the best way. Be surprised, delighted. This is the most amazing thing you've seen.
I love that color on you. You look great.
She said as she took out her ultraviolet lipstick.
Yeah, it's bright red. It's just it's invented to keep us warm out in the coldest of temperatures.
She said as she curled her eyelashes.
And you do that without a mirror?
She said as she grabbed a mirror and broke it over her head.
Wow, you are going to have 7 years of terrible luck. I don't
She
need to
said
see.
she said as she took a razor out of her purse and started shaving her head.
Well, you know, I believe that breaking mirrors is actually good luck.
She takes out a bigger mirror and breaks it over her head.
Wow, you're going to get like 20 years of good luck.
That's what I'm
She says
hoping
as
for.
she says as she puts down her razor.
Great. I'm going to pause for a second. So we've got 2 questions in this scene. How does putting on makeup and shaving your head make you warm? And how does breaking mirrors give you good luck? Keep going.
Breaking mirrors into little pieces, each one of those little pieces is a wish.
She says as she tucks several pieces under her arm.
Oh, that's ingenious. It's like blood, your blood flowing warms you up. Mine just takes in all the heat molecules and spreads it around and starts with your face. Goes down.
She says as she laughs heartily.
You have a beautiful head. And I think that sucking all the sun in through your skin is a great way to stay warm.
As she picks up a bottle of baby oil and slathers it on.
But that's even a better idea. God, let me have some of that to add to my heat soaking in head.
We'll stop there.
It's probably one of the weirdest scenes.
I know, but because we are shaking things loose, it starts to get a little random. It's like when you're in beginner class, there's not a lot of logic, there's a lot of play, there's a lot of response, there's a lot of reaction, there's not a lot of logic. When we start getting more experienced, there's more kind of method to our madness, but we shouldn't be going up into an overthinking processing logic. It should still be in a sense of play. It's just going, what's possible? So if it's like, I know how to stay warm, she says, putting on red lipstick. Okay, how does this make you warm? So what's in the circle? Red lipstick. You're hot. Right? Like it doesn't take a lot of intellect to connect the dots.
I think the only thing is that because the lipstick comes at the end of like my line, for example, and while I'm putting it on, then it's almost like whatever Valeria does or says, I would have to come back to the lipstick and the heat and incorporate what she said and did.
Only if you're the one responsible for everything.
Because I was saying, if the next line and the stage direction doesn't mention the lipstick
Ah,
the
But
there's
if
the
I could,
problem.
I could
fact.
have just said, I could have just said, and she looked salaciously at
Exactly.
her
So
partner.
but do you hear, so we went, how do I solve the problem? Meaning, what do I need to do? And if I have to wait for three people to be able to do the thing that I could do to be helpful, how can I be helpful? The help should be coming along the way. If it gets to you and everyone's missed it, great. Then what could I do? But because you said something about staying warm, and then the stage direction was you put on the red lipstick.
But in
So
that case,
then the verbal response, we've got someone in the North Pole that's cold putting on lipstick to stay warm. The obvious thing is to deal with that. Either you know the science behind it, or you don't, and you're curious about the science behind it. Avoiding it is like, well, the audience is curious. How does red lipstick help you stay cold, help you stay hot in the North Pole?
I think that's actually
Well,
literally
it's pretty obvious.
that if for example in that case Valeria had brought up the mirrors and the stage direction was kind of on the mirrors at that point, then I'm taking in, so if I'm doing what I should be doing is I'm taking in the mirrors, and then I need to incorporate the mirrors into the lipstick too, because the lipstick's been dropped at that point.
Cool.
Or dropping the mirrors.
Two things to note. You're putting the action on the dialogue, but the action was actually on the stage direction. So Valeria didn't bring in the mirrors, and you
sorry.
didn't bring in the red lipstick. But that's how the brain is working, because the stage direction, which is verbal, sounds like dialogue,
Okay.
right? And you're doing a lot of what I need to do instead of what needs to happen. What does someone need to do?
Yeah,
It's
I think I was like for Valeria's side, even if she'd like mentioned what I was, if the stage direction took us somewhere else, then should I, like, that's where we are at the moment, and it's my turn to do something. So to support that, and especially from your directions at that point was like there are two questions there now, the mirrors and the lipstick. So at that point, I would have to mention something about one, and then Valeria maybe mention about the other, or the stage direction would. But we are kind of 2 steps further down without having kind of answered those questions.
Someone needs to pay attention. Someone needs to pay attention to the offers on deck. Right? The reason I mentioned it is because we didn't deal with one, we added in another, and we were on 2 storylines. And these 2 storylines were not dealing with the North Pole. So technically, narratively, we avoided the North Pole and started getting into other actions. In the fun of jumping into the unknown, we can get to Crazy Town. Fine, we're in Crazy Town. Okay, let's be accountable to the crazy town we've created. Here's the things on deck. It's just reminding you of the circles instead of getting into avalanche mode of just constantly making offers without awareness of the circles. We don't need to go, oh, I need to be responsible to link everything up. We need to be aware of what's on deck and help inspire each other to deal with it. So I don't need to go, oh, mirrors. Yes, that old wives' tale about breaking 2 mirrors over your head in the North Pole means heat. I can simply go, how the hell do mirrors keep you warm? Because I've got 3 other people that are going to help. And this is where the don't ask questions gets you into trouble. Because sometimes asking questions reminds every improviser in the scene of something that needs to be solved. Right? And if I go, how does this work? And Valeria goes, I haven't a clue. Then I'm like, oh, my partner's stuck. I can go, oh, it's the fragments. I still haven't answered it. I sound like I have. All I've done is put a focus on aspect to hopefully inspire you to go fragments. Yes, when they separate, there's heat. So if we rub the mirrors together, yeah, like we find it together, which is why I'm calling you on that language of what I need to do, what I need to do, what I need to do. What we need to be aware of, how we need to support each other, how we help inspire each other to work together. It's collaborative. Yeah.
It's interesting. That one did feel like Valeria and I were in and trying to, or both of us were like fielding the different, you know, where is it going? So we were together trying to field off instead of everyone like necessarily like, which is what you asked us to do. So I mean, you asked everyone to go into like open it up.
Absolutely. So what happened in that scene? Fantastic. Because I've asked you to go faster, to leap into the unknown, to be playful. Now what I'm noting is when we do that, it shakes a lot of stuff loose. Great. We want to shake things loose because then we have more options to play with. But we also need to be accountable to what we shake loose.
Right. And is
Go
that
ahead.
okay?
Yeah.
And then you've got the stage directions. Because when you were just saying, giving us possibilities, they were going so well and they all made sense. But somebody's going to say something in between that in this exercise. So if somebody doesn't take, if Reggie did the lipstick, you know, or her stage direction was lipstick, and Valeria doesn't pick up on the lipstick, could Reggie come back to the lipstick?
Absolutely.
But also really taking each stone forward and not going backwards.
It's incorporating the offers to create the story. And sometimes that means going backwards, sometimes that means continually going forward, but it's everybody being aware of what's on deck. So if Reggie kept doing the lipstick, it keeps the action on deck. If you stop, it could be a completed action. Now we advance. And that could be in dialogue or stage directions. My God, your lips, they're vibrating, she said, holding her hands towards the heat. Now we've started explaining it without explaining it. If I said, what a great shade, she said, starting to dab sweat from her forehead from the radiant heat. So my stage direction has linked me to support Reggie.
Yeah.
If I say great color, she said enviously, then Reggie could say, whew, can you feel how it's getting warmer? She said, unbuttoning her clothes. So now this has a reaction, but anybody can do it.
I think that's the issue I'm saying is that if the moment the lipstick came, even if Valeria had tried the stage direction with the mirrors, then moved the responsibility in a way. I mean, it's a big word, responsibility. Moved the next step onto the next person, which was me. So at that point, I have to figure out between, okay, I've been directed to lipstick. Valeria's tried to address it, but her stage directions now have mirrors in them. So now, as you said, they're the two things that we have to put together. And the next person to do that, if I say something and bring in a third offer, that's going to even make, like if I introduce something completely new, now we have three things to try and three offers on deck. None of them kind of reconciled. And then the stage direction will have to try and get those three things.
Right. So just name something, bring in a third offer that has nothing to do with lipstick and mirrors.
You know, it's for the unicorns that are, you know, I see down the road.
Great. She said, picking up the mirror, holding it to reflect the heat from the lipstick off onto the ice cube where the unicorn appeared.
Well, I know, but
Right.
like what I'm saying is like each thing that we add on without incorporating the other one just makes the next person have to deal with three things together, or the
Yeah.
stage director then have to do like even more.
Can
to-
I
to-
add something?
Please.
Where-
Yeah.
And something, and listen, we've all experienced it now. It is a hell of a lot easier to watch these scenes, right? I'm thinking of if she just did this or he just said that, then when you're in it. But if you have lipstick, Valeria says the mirror just broke, and you say, "Oh, it must be the heat coming off my lips." I mean, would that be a way to merge?
Absolutely.
All I'm saying is that that is the step that I should have done, but that's the step. I don't mean to take on all of it. I just mean each person gets something that's part of it. And
Yeah.
because we're not all doing it at the same time, each person either advances it somewhere or justifies it a little bit. That's
Yeah,
all I'm
but
saying. It's like each
absolutely.
person adds something to it.
Absolutely. All the offers in the scene are a part of the building of the scene. And every improviser in the scene needs to be aware of all the offers to help the scene move forward. That equation is true in stage directions with 4 people. It's also true in a 2-person scene without stage directions. I'm not asking anyone to do anything different than what you do in a 2-person scene. The difference is that people are playing different roles. It's just one person talking, one person giving an action. The awareness of offers, using the offers, being actually using the offers, not just commenting on it and moving on to something else, but actually allowing the creative possibility of lipstick. Yeah? Actually allowing the creative possibilities to make your partner look good in the offers they bring in. So what we're noticing in the stage directions, because it's compartmentalized, is that a word? Yes. Is that you're seeing how many offers are being dropped. If you look at 2-person scenes, it's the same thing. The difference is in a 2-person scene, we focus on the dialogue. We don't look at when the person touched their forehead, when the person looked over their shoulder. Because we're so focused on what we're saying, we're dropping a lot of offers in other ways. In this, we're actually putting a focus and attention on all the offers on deck. So we're starting to see what happens when all the offers are not actually given space. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And every player in the scene and the players on the side of the stage and the musician and the lighting person are all accountable for that. Right? We're all on deck. So if you're in this scene doing stage directions and nothing is being dealt with and I'm sound improviser, I'm going to bring in howling wind. I'm going to try to remind you it's cold because you're not dealing with how did you get warm. Or I might bring in the sound of flames. Right? Because I'm going to try to inspire you to use what you have. But when we're in platform, we should be trying to seed the platform with lots of offers, which is what's happening in the playfulness of the scene. You're getting a lot of potential. Then when we get halfway through, we need to be accountable to what we brought into the scene. Same with a 2-person scene, same with any scene that we're building. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yes.
And it always makes more sense, as you said, Judy, when you're watching, it's clear. It's like, oh, yeah, this, that. Because we have no stress and pressure on us. The minute we're improvising, we feel we're being watched, and it changes our perception, which is why we need to get to that state of play. Don't make it a task, make it a pleasure. It's not a job, it's a joy. Don't worry about getting it wrong. Get it wrong full tilt. Know that there's learning after.
Yep.
Sounds so easy.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah. Now, yes, Brad.
I'm sorry, I have to go. So
Great. Next week,
see you
we're going to
folks.
do 2 people, and you're doing both jobs. So you do your dialogue, and the other person gives you the stage direction. Then they do their dialogue, and you give them their stage direction.
Oh my God. Okay. I better
So-
have a good drink about this.
We've done that, right? We did that. Didn't we do that
We
once?
just-
No?
I think we did a quick example of it in the last
Mhm.
class, but next week we're going to go into it. So
All right.
come in ready to fail, ready to have your brain bleeding
Your
out
brain.
your ears, your brine, and have a wonderful week, everyone.
Thank
You too.
you.
Thank you. You
Thanks
too.
a lot.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.